Before we go to the next question, which is very topical, and I'm very happy that the Honorable Minister has joined us. So the next question is, how much does provenance and geography matter? But I think since you are here, if you can set a context to that for about 2-3 minutes, or 5 minutes, or whatever you want to take, and that will be very good.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, dignitaries on the stage. They're all famous enough, you all know who they are. They've all spoken yesterday beautifully, and I'm sure it has been a good session from the morning. A couple of minutes that I have missed. My better half is singing, so today being Kishore Kumar's birthday, I had to give a lot of radio interviews from different other countries like South Africa and all that. They call, the radio stations call that. I was awake till about 4:50 in the night. So that's the happy hour yesterday night. Those are the happy hours, though I am a teetotaler. So thank you so much. It's been a great experience since last evening. I would like to thank BCCI and all the VCs and everyone else who have actually take out their precious time. You are all investors, so thank you so much for investing your time into this conference. It has been an enlightening one, and the only thing that I can say is that with due respect and a lot of love for Bangalore, I can definitely say that this place is definitely saturated, if not super saturated. So the glass is not only full. You can see the precipitation, there getting accumulated in the bottom of the glass. So bring that to Kolkata. Bring that to Kolkata. That's the place to be. We are ready to take the next step forward under the leadership of our Chief Minister. Don't believe the media. The media has to sell heartbreaking news. It's not breaking news, it's heartbreaking news. So, and heartbreaking news is something that really sells. You have to sell hard. We all have investors, we know how aggressive we need to be with our products when you're advertising. So that's the exact job that media does. So don't believe the media. We have a fantastic working environment. And cost of living, etc. Everything in Kolkata is much lower than what it could be in Bangalore. Trust me, I've had coffee outside of the hotel. Here everything is being sponsored by BCCI, but it costs you a lot to have a coffee in Bangalore everywhere. So that the same coffee you can get in Kolkata at a much cheaper price. I'm saying that because the smart guys with smartphones and smart ideas, they live on coffee for the early part of the day. So come to Kolkata. It's a place, like the Bengal Silicon Valley. We have a great IT policy in place. We have the Bengal Silicon Valley. We have 22 IT parks all over West Bengal, where you can get land at a very cheap price. I could say that the small example would be Bengal Silicon Valley, which is at the heart of not at the throbbing heart of Calcutta, I would say, because you cannot build a new city inside the city. Like Bombay, Bandra Kurla complex actually got built in an area which was actually a swamp. So we have that Sector 5, Sector 3 and all of that, where the IT companies and all of you, many of you have built your offices there. A lot of you people are already in Kolkata. So there the cost of land is 25 crores per acre. But we have been giving away that lands for the last several years at the cost of 5 crores per acre. So that's 20% of what the cost price is. And then you have quite a few years, 3 years to actually start your venture and do all of that. So you will find new space, new air, new levels of pollution, new kind of traffic, new kind of food. So everything would be new, and when you have new ideas, it's important to move to new geographical destinations. So come to Bengal. If there is any problem, I have a fantastic principal secretary with me, Mr. Rajiv Kumar, one of the brightest minds and IPS officers that we have in the country, I would say. He is a very disciplined man. He sleeps at a particular time, wakes up at early morning, but I sleep at 5 o'clock, so, or maybe sometimes at 4 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So someone in the ministry is always awake. We are working 24 hours. So, so in our ministry, the city never sleeps. And I saw a lot of, since yesterday, I've really realized after meeting the youngsters, after hearing what the venture capitalists who have actually put their money into risky things and then made something out of it and helped a lot of other people, generating employment and all of that. See, there is what I have learned in life. I would like to believe I'm not that old, but there is nothing really called something called a right decision. You take a decision and then you do everything to make it right. I think that is what, because every idea is a ray of light. If you have it, write it down in your diary, because it's not going to stay with you for long. You'll forget about it. That's how human mind works. So yesterday, a lot of youngsters came up with ideas, but then you are lucky enough that you had some great minds telling you where probably you are going wrong, where you are moving into utopian areas, where your dreams are probably a little too big. If on a lighter side, in my dreams I played, I got married to Drew Barrymore and I had a couple of children with her, but it did not happen in real life, so I did not invest any of my time in there. So I am very happy that yesterday many of these youngsters got a direction, a vision about what they could do, which is a great idea, and which are the ideas that you couldn't chase. I found a lot of value added advice from Mr. Raghupati, who's of course a doyen in this arena, and on this dais and even in front of me, there are minds who have you have not only excelled in your own areas, but you have the capability to make others excel with your experience. There's a thing that experience is, youth is wasted in the young. It's a famous saying by, I think, Winston Churchill. Youth is wasted in the young, because as you grow older, you lose your hair in your business. Nothing, please don't take it otherwise, but you do lose your hair into business. It's not personally against you. So you lose your hair to the business, you gain experience. But as you gain experience, your age increases. So what happens if, at his age, he's young, but at his age, he gets his youth back. I'm sure he's going to create some wonderful ventures. So these youth who came yesterday, you're very lucky that you have the youth on your side, you are young, and you have the experience who can help you out in finding your own calling in life. So just make a call, and I would tell you that the information technology electronics minister, me, or the information technology electronics ministry in Kolkata, as I said, is a 24-hour venture. It's, in short, the abbreviation, I don't use it, the acronym, because it makes the acronym is ITEM. It's information technology electronics and ministry, so it's ITEM. But I think that's, so I don't use it because my wife also acknowledges that I am an item in my memories. So I don't use that, but I can say that's one item that you should chase. Come to Calcutta, that's an item on which you can invest, and we'll do everything we can do to help you make Bengal the next destination. And don't believe the media, because they are selling heartbreaking news. Anything which is good will not find a space, because that doesn't break your heart. So that's hard selling. So do it in Kolkata, come there, we'll try to treat you in the best way possible. It's a Mishti land. You're going to find it's going to be a dilemma for you to decide whether you want to invest in Rasgulla or in Sandesh. It's like that. So please do come. It has been a great adventure here. Yes, I do have prior commitments in Kolkata today. My better half will have to deliver in a couple of places today, because it's Kishore Kumar's birthday, so I'll have to be a singer for the rest part of the day. So that's a great thing. So I might have to leave while this discussion is on, because my flight is at 12, but 12:15 rather. But please carry on with your ideas. Please carry on with the destination, and I would love to hear as many as many answers to the question that he has about geography and everything else that goes with it. And yes, I think that BCCI is already famous and in its own way, and in the coming years we will have more such meets where young bright minds are going to meet experienced young men at their prime of their careers. Thank you so much once again.
Honorable Minister, I think my new calling was to be a Bhishma Pitama to the Arjuns. So it's not necessary that you find new things to do, but if you can guide the Arjuns of the world to find new things to do or fight new battles, I think that itself is a payback in itself.
You know, this Arjun and what he said, Dronacharya, I think something that I've been saying whole night yesterday, that my relationship with Kishore Kumar is Dronacharya and Ekalavya, because I never got to meet him. But I learned him, I got training from him from a distance. But with my grandfather from whom I learned my music, it's Ekalavya and Arjun. So many of you will not find Dronacharya in your real life, but you can find Dronacharya and be the Ekalavya. And if you follow these kind of that Dronacharyas are not going to ask the thumb away from you. Rather, if you follow their ideas, you get a thumbs up in life. That's what it is.
Sir, if you're going to try and make it for the flight, I think you should leave now.
I obviously lied about the flight time. It's at 1:15.
So we'll do a very quick round and start with you. So the provenance question: how much does geography from where the idea how much does the geography from where the idea came matters, or where the entrepreneur is located?
I'll take a slightly more philosophical sort of answer to this one. You should all read the book called The Prisoners of Geography by Tim Marshall. It's a very beautiful book which will sort of summarize everything that's right and wrong in the world and how geography is to blame for it. So even in the startup world, we can blame or we can duck behind geography. But the fact of the matter is, I think there is an information asymmetry in geography in India. Right? So as you go from a tier 1 city, which is say Bangalore, right? Let's say Bangalore and anything around Bangalore. The further away you go, the lack of information is where the problem is. It's not the physical geography. It's about the fact that it's not, you don't have that ecosystem of people around you who are willing to talk and educate you around those things. So as much as, like Mumbai was amongst the first cities where startup ecosystem was bustling. And everybody left Mumbai and came to Bangalore. Right? So if you remember Ola, Purple, everything else was incorporated in Mumbai and everyone moved there. So what happens is, there are a bunch of factors which play together for geography to go right. One is, of course, there has to be political will to attract talent, which I think sir is very well put in, that the item ministry is working 24 hours, so there is will to bring people to the geography. Second is, can there be an ecosystem that's nurtured in that geography? Are all the relevant people in that ecosystem willing to sort of participate? And thirdly, when that perfect storm comes in, you'll start seeing investors and everybody else moving in. Let's take the example of GIFT City. Right? GIFT City is a geography which actually got built out just in the last 1.5 years. But all the necessary things required for that geography to survive and thrive have actually been given. So right from attracting foreign capital to Indian fund managers setting up a shop there, to eventually entrepreneurs also going and incorporating companies from that side, you will see that perfect storm play. So I think geography in today's day and age doesn't matter as long as you're physically just working out of a place, but access to the right network, access to the right information pool, that is, I think, the key element which is missing in some of the tier 2, tier 3 cities in India, even till date. As much as I'm a big believer, I'm invested in, I think, at least 5 or 6 tier 2 cities that I can think of. There is great talent out there, but there is clearly a lack of information, lack of knowledge sharing, for which that talent needs to come back to a tier 1 city, spend time and talk to people and interact with people of the same skill. So I hope that sort of answers it.
Yeah, that answers it. And what we are trying to do, for example, what I'm trying to do is to create this course for young budding entrepreneurs before we get them into in front of the investor. It's a 5-level course. Hari, would you like to talk about how geography matters to you?
So I have 2 views on this. One, what Mohit said in terms of, the information is asymmetry. But I think more is in terms of awareness and the fact that, historically, East of India has been one of the best cradles of human capital, whether it be doctors who have gone abroad to engineers who have done their doctorate. It's been always the cradle of the best of minds there. But in the current age, what I see is that there is a sense of saying, oh, this is something which is not for me. What is happening in the South, there is a sense that, oh, that's only what is relevant in the South. There is a sense of automatically saying that this is not meant for me. And I think it's a mindset issue rather than a real challenge. I was just talking to Mr. Subud this morning. I think the best way to do something is to get people from the so-called privileged locations to go into Calcutta and talk to entrepreneurs and give them the sense that there's nothing different between what they think and what I think. It's just the question of building the awareness so that this information asymmetry sort of falls away. From an investor viewpoint, I don't think geography really makes a difference. It is, as we discussed earlier, it is the capability of the person and the credibility of the person and the power of the idea which makes that investment work, irrespective of where he comes from. And in this age of technology, really location doesn't make a difference. You are connected, and COVID, fortunately, unfortunately, proved that you can work from anywhere and still get the same effectiveness and far more cost efficiently. Geography has one relevance in terms of there are certain solutions which are very pertinent to that particular geography in terms of a need. And those need not be global enterprises. They can be fulfilling a very topical, local need and still be successful businesses. So I think geography has its advantages because then you can nurture businesses which are relevant there. And you can create them in a manner, in a form where you leverage on the best of expertise which has been tested globally. Would be a good blend of taking the larger to the smaller, which is the local geography, and use the know-how to build large businesses.
Minister sir, would you like to say something about geography?
Well, from Kolkata, places like Singapore and the new markets, emerging markets, and all that is closer. The flight prices are much lesser. So I would say that geographically we're in a better place. We are in the eastern side of the country, so the sun rises much earlier than the other cities in the country. So it sets later in Mumbai, but it's great to have the early morning sun rising earlier. So I think geography really doesn't matter. It does matter, but it doesn't matter as well. I've done a show, I've done several shows with Nadeem Shravan, but one show I remember I did a musical show in Hon'ble in UAE in 1994, and it was absolutely desert. So we didn't know, it was a huge show with all the stars of Salman Khan and everyone there. So while we were being driven to that place, we didn't know where we are being taken, whether our audience are going to be camels, who are going to bring their own water, or we are going to get it in the desert, and where exactly we are going. But if you go to Hon'ble today, it's one of the prime destinations. So they have shown that when you can invest in the right places, geography really doesn't matter. And therefore, I say that geographically, Calcutta is in a very right place. So if you invest there, you can make it happen, because we are there to help you. That's what I want to say.
So Deepak?
So from the perspective of somebody who's been trying to nurture entrepreneurship in Calcutta at the grassroots level over the last 10 years, Calcutta has every advantage possible. Cost of living is low, the ease of life, ease of doing business, the quality of life, everything works perfectly. The only drawback which I see when it comes to startups is what I call the hive mind philosophy. This is the only drawback which Calcutta has. Calcutta has no dearth of talent. Some of the best engineers, some of the best business minds working in the startup world in Bangalore at the highest possible position, heading these startups, are from Bengal. Some of the best companies who've raised the maximum amount of funding have been from Calcutta, but over a period of time, once invested, they were forced to move by their investors to move to either a Delhi, Mumbai, or a Bangalore. The only reason being that the ecosystem is where Bangalore ecosystem was 10 years back. But with the edges of the IT ministry, with the outlook of the minister, with what BCCI is doing, with what NASSCOM is doing, I think the change is coming. It's very pertinent. But over a period of time, once the psychology of having a group to solve your problems, to interact with, and have the same philosophy when you sit in the same circle. That needs to be there to create the perfect ecosystem for startups to thrive more in Calcutta. Once that develops, there will be a day when the VCs will not force their investee companies to move out of Calcutta. I'm sure as part of Infosys you'll agree that till a few years back, most of the support work used to be done in Calcutta, whereas the real development used to happen in Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore, but that's not the case anymore. Now the real actual development, the core of the software is actually being done in Calcutta. So things are changing. Only the ecosystem which nurtures the mindset to create a startup or create more startups and make it a fulfilling experience, I think that's what we need to focus more as we go forward.
Yeah, you said it right. So like what Hari mentioned, I think we need to have the mentoring ecosystem and the training ecosystem for entrepreneurs.
I kind of, a little bit disagree with you. I'm trying to not to get intimidated with your mustache style, but to be very honest, I don't agree with that. I just feel that the temperature and everything else of Bangalore, it has immensely made the foreigners biased towards, this is like Pune. If you choose between Mumbai and Pune, you go to Pune. If you want to choose between Kolkata and Bangalore, you choose Bangalore. So geography does matter in this perspective. So don't tell me that Calcutta is is as a place where the biggest of the corrupt politicians, they stay in unfortunately in Bangalore, and people vote for them. So let me be very harsh about it. So don't tell me that the system here is so clean that you get the governance and your policies and your files and everything moved at a rocket speed. No, I am here in politics for governance because I make my money from music. So the day I feel that I cannot move forward with your ideas, I leave it. So as simple as that. So I don't agree with that. I just feel that the mindset of the investors needs to change. Solar AC should come back so that Calcutta can get a little more cooler, and that will make everyone. You probably think that you cannot wear your Armani jacket in Kolkata. That's a problem, but you can do that in Bangalore. I'm being very, very practical without using, very strong terms and all of that. So it's just the mindset. Come to Kolkata, bear the heat a little bit. I'm sure you're going to get that heat is not something that is going to deter you from investing in Kolkata. Problems exist everywhere. It exists everywhere. It's not only in India, all over the world. It's about the scale in which the corruption is done. It's so prevalent in America, but it doesn't come out. But it's done in millions of dollars and billions of dollars. So Bangalore is just geographically in better positions. Like you can walk for your entire day in Norway and not get tired because of the temperature. So that's exactly what it is. So थोड़ा सा अपना mindset भी change करिए. ऐसा नहीं है कि कलकत्ता में से लोग छोड़ के बाकी जगह में आ रहे हैं. We have the best of minds. If Bengalis have this, the superstition that we are one of the most intelligent people in the world. It's a different thing that is almost true. But don't think that way. We have the best of minds. I had Mr. Roy yesterday very gleefully tell me that there's 17 to 20 lakh Bengalis in Bangalore. Why is that? Why is Bangalore hiring on these Bengalis? Why do we have a big? Because you have the minds, you have the bright minds. So they, as you said correctly, that there are so many minds in the top positions in Bangalore and even in the Silicon Valley. See how many great firms are owned by Bengalis and run by Bengalis. So I would like to see 10 years from now, Mr. Roy saying कि अब वो दिन नहीं रहे, Bengalis have moved back to Calcutta. So my goal would be to have 12 lakh of those Bengalis back in Kolkata. So at least the next generation. So please change your mindset. Do not believe the media. What you see, there are 4 untold incidents. That is something that is sold for the entire day. That is not the reality. That is not the reality, because I have been in opposition politics so long, I would have not been alive if everything of that was true. So I think you know the situations of 2014. I was the lone BJP MP there. So please get it straight and get it with a lot of humility. That please don't think this way. Let's make it happen in Kolkata, and geographical barriers should not be a barrier in your minds. Let it be a geographical barrier. It's something that you break with the strong minds that all of you possess. That's something that I really wanted to say. Thank you so much.
So thank you, sir. In fact, just on a very personal note, my initial childhood was spent in Lake Gardens, which was a South Indian area. Ab wo din nahi raha, all of them came back because my father was there building Hon'ble Airport. So Lake Gardens in Calcutta was predominantly a South Indian area, including the Ram Temple, etc. And now, of course, nobody remembers that. But anyway, Mr. Damani, would you like to talk about provenance and what makes, what sort of a decision do you take based on that?
Let me also give you a bit of my connection with Calcutta. So after I came back from the US, after I sold my company, my dad sent me to Calcutta and I stayed there for 7-8 months. And I came straight from Texas to Calcutta. We had a construction business there that I looked after. And in fact, my dad's entire Naniyal side I remember going to Nimbutala.
That's what I know.
So I used to, oh wow. And they all moved to Salt Lake, right? And it's very difficult for them to move out. I don't think they will ever leave Calcutta. But just coming back to the topic that we're talking about, I think, see, proximity is power, right? So what does happen with geography is that if you are running a tech company, your first port of call usually is Bangalore. That's because that's where all the techies are, right? If you want, like, I believe, I'm an investor in Chai Break, by the way, so I've been a seed investor in Chai Break for the last about 4 or 5 years. And I thought at one point, because of Wow Momos and Chai Breaks of the world, that Calcutta had a fantastic opportunity to become the food tech capital. Because if the food is known, Bengalis are known for food, right? And plus the number of ventures that were coming up, Yellow Slice, I think there was a bunch of these companies coming up in Calcutta. I thought there was a great camaraderie happening between entrepreneurs there. There could be a great opportunity for a food tech company. Look at Wow Momos and what it's done to India. I think if you look at Bombay's become sort of a fintech because that's where the stock markets are. That's where if all the finance guys are going to be in Bombay and all the customers are in Bombay, where should you be setting up your company? In Bombay, right? However, what does happen is that once you become big enough, right, where the geographies are no longer constraining you, then you decide where to set up. Like Maruti, which made Manesar into what it is today, and then got all the ancillary companies to actually show up in Manesar and then supply material to them, right? Even the Japanese have built their own restaurant, they built their own hotel over there. So I think initially the first 1,000 days of building a business is extremely important where you start, because that's where the talent is going to be, right? If you want AI talent, it's going to be in a particular place. The entire generative AI talent in this country can be counted on 2 hands, right? And if that's where they are, then that's where they're going to show up. However, COVID has changed that. Obviously, you can now have an organization that could exist in one location and have spokes in different locations. However, I just come back to the same point again and again. Initially, where you start definitely matters. The cost of living, and I did. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, look at Kanpur, right? Kanpur is known for Jamshedpur. I think all these centers were created. The best part about India, I think, compared to, let's say, a neighbor in the north, is that there is no restriction of doing business anywhere in the country. It's amazing about this country. You fly to any place, you take a train to any city, there is wealth across the country. You go to, people, if you remember a few years ago or maybe a decade ago, people in Aurangabad got together and bought 100 Mercedes, right? Tells you how much money was there even in a little city of that. Look at Nasik, look at any city of India, right? And you will find that there are these amazing wealth centers across the country. But when you're starting, it may make sense initially to go to a place where whatever you're building, if you're building space tech today, you have to go to Chennai. Because guess what? IIT Madras is creating that infrastructure for space tech. So all your space tech companies are based out of Chennai, right? So you're going to have that geographical advantage. Pune has an advantage, Hyderabad has an advantage, Calcutta has an advantage. I think and that's going to continue building. Once you become big enough, once you're a Zoho, or once you're a fresh desk kind of a company, then you can sit in the village also and do business. Because then by that time, you are the power and the proximity will come to you, right? So that's my submission on where you start and how you can land up being where you want to be once you become prominent.
Mr. Joshi, can you make it quick, because
This Agni Damani, acting cool, right? They always, eat away my words, but I think in today's connected world, location doesn't matter, sir, honestly. And statistics says that India actually, progressed 5 years because of pandemic. The way we are connected, location actually doesn't matter at all. My first investment, actually was in Kolkata. 3 entrepreneurs, founders, from IT, Kharagpur, started their business in 4th year and landed a incorporating company in Kolkata. That's why we invested. Though company, didn't, survive, but rock stars. One actually, started another business, have raised millions of dollars and doing great job. Now based out of somewhere in Madhya Pradesh. The second guy joined another company, became, part of it in Pune, and that company also, gave exit to investors. And the third actually became a very high-paying professional. So I think location doesn't matter at all. Probably ours is the only odd fund which doesn't have concentrated investment in Bangalore. Our fund have around 25-30%, but rest of our investments are tier 2, tier 3 city. And our latest investment is happening in Bhubaneswar, right? And it's a woman entrepreneur, right? So I guess location doesn't matter anymore. Entrepreneurs are like water; they find their way. They'll find the opportunity. And to be honest, who doesn't know? Actually, Kolkata is the land of opportunity. It has given so many stars, businessmen, out of and different geography they came from, settled there. I think we need to take it forward.
So while location doesn't matter, unfortunately the airport's location matters, Minister. And the Minister has to reach the location to catch the flight. And obviously there's no predicting. One of Bangalore's major failure is, I don't think anybody can write a mathematical equation to predict when you would reach the airport.
That's a huge geographical disadvantage. Come to Kolkata. You have such great, that's exactly what I was trying to say. That's a huge geographical advantage. Too many successful people, too many techies staying in Bangalore, buying hundreds of Mercedes and Porsches, and you have no place to run them. So come to Kolkata, empty roads, in Salt Lake, enjoy your car. You're spending 1.5 in a Porsche Macan. So drive it at the speed that you can. We will make sure that in the first few months you don't get ticketed. This is absolutely informal. But absolutely, I can say that you are all VCs. So why should geography matter? The pandemic has taught us that the VCs can work through VCs. The VCs can work through VCs. So stay in Bangalore, enjoy the weather, enjoy your car, but do your business in Kolkata with video conferences. That's exactly what the VCs should think about themselves. So, that's what it is. And yes, I do have to catch a flight, and the traffic in Bangalore is horrible. So therefore, I'm going back to Kolkata.
So, thank you, Minister. On another note, this today being Kishore Kumar's birthday, may I request the Minister to sing a line or two.
इतनी ताली बजेंगे तो मतलब मेरी सिंगिंग में कोई इन्वेस्टमेंट ही नहीं है। अब जब आपने ताली बजा दिया तो गाने की जरूरत क्या है? So yes, it's Kishore Kumar's birthday. To the small guys, I think this is a very meaningful song. As you grow in life, you will find a lot of criticism. Vivekananda said that every work has to go through 3 stages. Ridicule, opposition, and then acceptance. So you have to, and it's a cycle. So you have to go through many such cycles in life. This is one song that will help you, and this is a great song by Kishore Kumar, R.D. Burman, Anand Bakshi. Won each of them the Filmfare Awards. So I just dedicate it to all those young minds and as an inspirational song. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में कहीं बीत ना जाए रहना, कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, हमको जो ताने देते हैं, हम खोए हैं इन रंग रलियों में। हमने उनको भी छुप छुप के आते देखा इन गलियों में। ये सच है झूठी बात नहीं, तुम बोलो ये सच है ना। कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना। छोड़ो बेकार की बातों में, कहीं बीत ना जाए रहना। कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना।
So with this musical note, we would see off the Honourable Minister. I would request the President of the Bengal Chamber to please present him tokens of appreciation, and I would request Mr. Ravindra Chamaria, Chairman of Infinity Group, to please join us on the dais. Maybe we should have a group photo.